Hello and welcome back to the Premier League Punters Show. Yes, it is a Friday, but we have been, we lucked out with 2 Premier League weeks or rounds in 1 week. You did well on your midweek, didn't you? Actually, you and Martin, you got your banker at 4.5.
4.8. Yeah, you look at you always taking like the bits off. But no, I needed it because I fell on the wrong side by 1 goal in about 6 games. So I'm pleased that I stuck to my guns and made Newcastle my banker at 4.8. Also in the article I said Newcastle double chance at 2. So I was basically having a free bet at the 4.8. But over the 2 cards, very strange to have Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday Premier League games, especially going into the weekend as well. But no, we're doing okay.
Yeah, strange, but gives us lots of opportunities to make some profit. Let's bring on Martin Green now. He had a cracker of a day on Wednesday. Pockets weighing him down even further. You won all your bets, didn't you, on Wednesday? It was just a
had a good day on Wednesday. My banker wasn't quite so ambitious in the odds, but it landed. Leicester can't stop winning at the moment, which I was pleased to see. Only team that let me down yesterday was Arsenal. Don't bet on Arsenal is the motto there. But otherwise, been a very good week. As I said in the previous film, weary legs are a real issue at the moment for players because of the busy schedule. So both teams to score has been a popular bet, and it came off a good few times in the week. So pleased to see that.
Yeah. Now, when you say weary legs, I think we also mentioned this in the last one. Does that mean sort of look for for goals, both teams to score more chances for goals with weary legs?
Yeah, I would say so, because the defenders are going to be tired, and especially towards the end of games when you're bringing on substitutes running against those players, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to score. And I also think that the teams that become more attractive in the winner betting markets at this time of year are the bigger teams with the larger squads that can afford to rotate. Liverpool rested several key players in that 5-2 win against Everton. And I mean, now they can play Bournemouth and just unleash Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino, who sat it out. So, yeah, I think this is a good time of year for the big boys, and definitely both teams to score is an attractive option right now.
Wonderful stuff. So let's see what we have on our cards. Maxwell Smart is in the chat. He says, Flash, I'm watching you. I'm eating Ferrero Rochers. They're delicious. Oh. I think Ferrero Rocher is always a sign of Christmas. Don't you always buy Ferrero Rochers at Christmas, and they come in the cool, like, golden towers?
And we like to call them Ferrero Rochets. Like Flash Towers sitting on his own having a Ferrero Rocher.
They're supposed to have like 10 grams of fat like per one or something, isn't it? Like
days gone by, obviously. First of all, you've got to be able to afford Ferrero Rocher, and then you've got to be able to work it off. And obviously Max is no sleeping, so he needs all the energy he can get. He's doing such a great job on the college basketball.
I can see Rafa nodding there for the Ferrero Rochers. Are you a Ferrero Rocher fan there, Martin?
I quite like Ferrero Rocher, but I don't like the big nut you get in the middle. It gets too nutty for me.
You always spit that part out though. Sometimes you just, by the time you've it's like a Cadbury's cream egg. Like, how do you eat yours? Like, you don't just chew a Ferrero Rocher, do you? There's like a tactic to it.
Oh yeah, you got to take it nice and slow.
Right.
Enjoy.
Save it. Lick out the thing. So by the time you got the nut, you could just like throw that part away.
Like you take the big nut out. Otherwise, that'd be my feedback to the Ferrero Rocher people. Get the big nut out, and sales shoot up.
Or crumble it in there. You can have like Ferrero Rocher crumble or something.
Or put it in ice cream.
Well, you do that already, don't they? Ferrero Rocher.
Do they do Ferrero Rocher? Oh, really? I might have to look for that.
I think what's it called?
You might have just come up with something then.
Magnums. Don't they do similar to like? They do this Ferrero Rocher chocolate for ice cream for sure.
If
they don't, we're missing out. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, back to football. Premier League punters. Going to start off with Everton versus Chelsea. Everton come in 3.7, Chelsea 2.08. Obviously, Everton have lost 3 back-to-back games now after their 5-2 defeat midweek at the hands of Liverpool. Obviously, they're saying their manager's days are limited.
Gone.
Is he
yesterday.
Gone? Oh, God.
Gone yesterday.
There we go.
Yeah, so but not like Nostradamus, you are looking into the future. Limited, he's gone.
I did that as well on with Arsenal as well. But do you think it was fair though against Liverpool? I think that's a little
No, it weren't about that.
It wasn't against like a Norwich. Well, actually,
No.
no, they did lose to Norwich,
Yeah,
didn't they?
there's a double-edged sword here. Basically, Everton are absolutely in crisis behind the scenes because they've got people making decisions who they basically pull the trigger. They've backed him with a lot of money, but as I've wrote in a few articles and when we've said about you can't trust Everton, it's because their body language and their effort, they have to be at it 100%. They're disjointed from top to bottom. And in the end, Marco Silva's gone. And Duncan Ferguson, the legend centre-forward, is taken over. So will we see a reaction? I'm not too sure, but Everton are not a side to be trusted. But you go against them, they might just bite you on the backside.
Don't know, but Chelsea 2.08. They beat Aston Villa midweek. They are a confident side, home and away. Chelsea win. They should beat this this Everton side, but when a new manager or when the manager's sacked, often it's they're hard to be trusted. Martin, what's your bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Chelsea to win this game. I think it's a generous set of odds when you look at the respective form of the two teams. Everton do have good players, but their form this season has been abysmal. And I'm not really sure if Duncan Ferguson's the man to pull things together, much like Freddie Ljungberg, a bit of a club legend, but no real managerial experience. I know no one's going to cross him. Certainly can't imagine any opposition manager getting in a bit of a scuffle with him on the touchline, because that would end pretty quickly. But in terms of his tactical nous, I think he's largely unproven. This Chelsea side, they were in excellent form recently. They had a bit of a blip, but they'll be pleased to have returned to winning ways in midweek. And yeah, I think they can keep it going. 2-1 against the good in-form Aston Villa was a solid result. And this is an Everton team that just shipped 5 goals against Liverpool. So I think Chelsea can go there and leave with all 3 points. And anything over even money, anything north of 2, looks like very good odds to me.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, I'm sort of comment here just saying like, draw, the interim manager will want to start well. I'm passing this game, says Greg Stewart. I think both teams to score is a good look for this card. What do you like?
Well, first of all, I wrote down Chelsea to win at 2.08, and then I delved a bit more and thought, well, Chelsea in over 1.5 at 2.37. I can see that happening as well. But then I put a line for them both and thought, I can't trust Everton. I think they'll score. I think that Alex Classic at 2 is the way to go. And then if it brings in a 2-2 or Everton manage to win 2-1 or Chelsea win 2-1, then I'm more than happy. So for me, I'm not in a position to be going against the likes of Everton at home when we've said all season they're homers. So for me, Duncan Ferguson may well get something out of the game, whether it be a goal, a point, or 3 points. So I'm going to go with the Alex Classic at 2.
Yeah, Movano, Chelsea's defence is my only worry here. Yeah, both teams to score over 2.5 goals. And Alex Classic definitely look good here. Martin's going for that Chelsea win. Okay, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. What is Liverpool doing priced at 1.42? I think tremendous value, unless the bookies know something that we don't know. Liverpool -1 even, 1.63. What are you looking at in this game?
No, I've put a line for it. I've just put a line for it because I was trying to find the right value for Liverpool, and we're getting into the realms now of Liverpool will slip up at some stage. But are you brave enough to go with a draw at 5.5?
Why will they slip up? And they're against Bournemouth.
I know, but Bournemouth... I went with both teams to score with Crystal Palace and Bournemouth midweek, and as soon as it went down to 10 men, Bournemouth couldn't break them down. But they have got weapons. They do raise their game at home against the bigger sides. I mean, I was close to going Alex Classic here, but there again, we're talking about Liverpool here. Liverpool are on song, they go and win, they win comfortably. But there's many a side that have come unstuck, and I just thought, nope, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to jump on that Liverpool bandwagon on the week that they just get upset.
No, I still think, though, that both teams to score over 2.5 goals. I think those are goals. I think is a good look here, liking the Liverpool -1. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to predict how Liverpool will win at the moment because they can control a game and win 1-0, 2-0. And like we saw at the weekend, midweek, they can blow away a team like 5-2 against Everton. Took a bit of a gamble, Jurgen Klopp. Rested a lot of players in that Everton game. There was no Salah, there was no Firmino, and they still scored 5 times, which was a fantastic performance. So the gamble paid off. And now he's got Firmino and Salah, who are going to be totally fresh and ready to take on this pretty dreadful Bournemouth defence. I think they can just go there and overrun them. I think they'll win this one pretty comfortably. I don't really want to get into goals markets though, because they could go either way. So I'm just going to go for -1, like you said at the start. -1 Asian handicap, 1.63.
There you go. Hopefully, great minds thinking alike there, Martin. Liverpool -1. All right. Spurs versus Burnley. Spurs obviously ended their new manager run at Manchester United. Can you believe it? I went for both teams to score, cashed in. The question is what do we go for here? There's only 2 points between these two teams and 4 place. So a lot riding on this match. Burnley obviously coming from a beating, confidence-deflating beating against Man City 4-1. Spurs at home. Do you think they'll win, Martin?
Yeah, I think they will. I think this is a really good opportunity for Spurs to get back to winning ways. They concede far too many goals. It's ridiculous. They've only kept 1 clean sheet in 15 games. But at home, I think they'll get the job done here. Dele Alli gave a pretty interesting post-match interview after that game. He said that they were a bit arrogant. They were in good form and they thought they could just turn up to Old Trafford and win. Obviously, they came unstuck. I don't think they'll make that mistake again against the Burnley side that are on the back of 2 straight defeats and going to be low on confidence. I think Tottenham will get the job done. Again, not huge odds, but I'm just going to go for Spurs and over 1.5 goals at 1.63.
Yeah.
I'll put that in an accumulator as well that I have uploaded on Odds Market today. 14 Premier League ACCA, and I think that's a very good selection for any accumulators for the weekend.
I thought you said 14 then. I was like, wow, I'm going to go check that one out. 14.
Not quite that.
Pay out
ambitious.
£5,000. Okay, yeah, I'm also got I am liking the Spurs win for a possible ACCA there. I did. Somebody wrote something and I've lost it now. Okay, I'll come back to it. What are you going for?
I'm going for Spurs and over 2.5 at 2. I thought they were very disjointed the other night. I thought there was too much space from back to front. I thought they gave the ball away too easily. But there again, I don't think it was actually a penalty, and I think they would have gone on and won the game. My actual tip prior to the game was Spurs to win and both teams to score. Sitting at 1-1, I thought that Spurs would be the only team that would go on. So yeah, I'm going to go with Spurs and over 2.5 at 2.
There you go. There's Flash pushing it for a little of extra value. It'll either help his odds or come back to bite you if Burnley doesn't score and it's a 2-0.
Yeah, I can't see Spurs keeping a clean sheet, and I'd look at this game and think I could have gone over 3.5. I think it's maybe 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah.
All right. Watford.
Got some breaking news. We're about to come on to the Watford game, I believe. Watford v Crystal Palace. Watford have just appointed former Leicester manager Nigel Pearson as their new coach after sacking their second manager of the season in the week.
There's a lot of sackings this year. I feel like we've had a record number of sackings.
Yeah, a little bit of panic stations, but obviously Nigel Pearson was one of my best friends.
Oh, well, we were just talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
But you said Arsenal. So now, were you saying Arsenal?
No, Watford.
You said Watford. I thought you said,
No, yeah, he was going to Watford.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
he's been in Belgium, and obviously he was the one that masterminded Leicester winning the Premier League, even though that Ranieri took all the credit. He didn't take the credit within the game. And good luck to him. And you won't be seeing me going against Watford anytime soon.
Well, Watford there, 2.43. I was liking Crystal Palace at 3.2 or Crystal Palace draw no bet at 2.26. Does that mean that you might be playing Watford now? And you can't
No. Even more so now, and I might even make this my banker. I'm going for Watford Crystal Palace draw at 3.4, and I know exactly how he'll set up, and he will make sure. And if there's any bets that this being a draw after 75 minutes, then get on it, because he will keep them tight and make sure that they're still in the game with 15 minutes to go. They will be organised. Listen, he's not going to go in there and like wave a magic wand and it's going to be okay, because obviously there's big problems there. But for me, I've gone with a draw at 3.4, and I think this is a very tight game. And now, the way he'll set up, although he's had no time to go on the training ground, we're going to see Watford involved in games under 2.5 goals.
So you're going for the draw, but so you think this could be an under 2.5 goals as well?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is 0-0.
Martin, how are you taking the recent news, and have you changed your bet as a result?
Well, this was always a pass from me, and it's still a pass even after that news. I think, I think that gives Watford a better chance of winning the game. But I still think Crystal Palace are a very, very tricky opponent this season, as they've shown by moving up to 7th place with a couple of wins in their last games. They're playing well. I think it's a difficult assignment for Pearson in his first game, but yeah, totally agree that he'll make them much more difficult to play against. It's a very sensible appointment. They sort of replaced like for like when they got rid of Xavi Gracia and brought in Quique Sanchez Flores. So you want a good, solid English manager that knows the league well. He obviously did really well to get Leicester out of trouble that season before they won the Premier League. And yeah, good luck to him. I think they've got a real shot of clawing their way out of the relegation dogfight now. But I'm still going to pass this game.
You know, he's the only manager that was actually bottom in March and survived in the Premier League.
Was he?
Yeah, they had championship winning, not as in championship as in the league, but they were champions form from March through to the end of the season, and then they sacked him in the summer. Had nothing to do with footballing reasons, and then Ranieri came in and they won the Premier League.
Yeah, James Line says, Flash, get shout with the Newcastle win against Sheffield United. Yes, we mentioned that 4.8 banker. Unfortunately, he still went for Arsenal win to 0, but
and Arsenal in a parlay, which would have come up if they just had to win the game.
We'll get to that. I feel we're going to put down a rule or two on that Arsenal win to 0.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We'll get to it. We're going to come up with some rules here as team Premier League punters, you know.
No, I think you're right. So, I'm happy to bow.
So, yeah, I quite like Crystal Palace draw no better. I think there is a possibility of a draw here, 2.26. But on the fence with now new manager signing. Man City now against Manchester United, big Manchester derby. Man City cannot afford to lose any points here. They do have they're in their stadium at the Emirates. And they can't afford to drop points. I'm wondering if we're going to see goals on the cards. Do you think Man City are going to clearly win this, or do you think Manchester United?
No. I think it's a massive gulf, and it's all down to the midfield dominance and the Man United's inability to defend. I'm going to go with Man City to win and over 3.5 goals. I see this being a minimum of 3-1, and it's at 2.7. Absolutely loving that. I was going to go Man City -1 at 1.93, but I can also see this being 3-2. So I'd get done with the -1 because it wouldn't be Asian handicap, because there was no real difference between 1.5 on the Asian or 1 on the European. So I've gone with Man City to win and over 3.5 at 2.7. I think they're going to be far too strong and far too pacey.
All right, so a clear and comfortable Man City win. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much singing from the same hymn sheet there. I think Man City get the job done in midfield in this game. You can't really put the likes of Scott McTominay and Fred up against quality players like Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. I think it could get a bit very one-sided there. I was initially just going for Man City to win with a -1 Asian handicap. Then I crossed it out and went for both teams to score because we just saw Man United beat Spurs at Old Trafford. But then I just thought, put them together. Man City to win and both teams to score, 2.75. That's my bet.
Same odds. Same odds, different bet.
Exactly.
Man City in the over 3.5 goals and Man City and both teams to score. All right, yeah, I was liking the both teams score here, and I think Man City will get the job done. A little worried there might be 2-1, but with the way Man City are playing when they decide to score goals.
Because it's an emotional game. If it's 2-1, then Man United are going to come out and throw caution to the wind. And then the one thing you don't want to do against Man City is be susceptible to the break. And so, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a tight game at 2-1, because I think it goes either 3-1 or 2-2.
Okay. Alrighty. Aston Villa versus Leicester. Martin, I think 8 games now in a row Leicester have won. It's just a row of green. They are, obviously they're in second. They're the only team at the moment looking likely to give Liverpool a run for their money, but they are still 8 points behind. 1.85 to beat Aston Villa on the road. Are you still on the Leicester train there, Martin? It's been cashing for you week in, week out. Are you still on it? 1.85?
Definitely, very much so. It was my banker in the week. I'm going to keep betting on them until they let me down. They show no signs of doing it now. Like you say, 8 games in a row, 6 Premier League wins on the bounce. They're flying. They're ahead of Man City. They're looking like the most solid title challenger to Liverpool at the moment. Very strong at the back. Jamie Vardy's in sparkling form up front. Lots of creative players in midfield. They're just on fire, and the bookmakers aren't treating them like a big team. They're not treating them like you wouldn't see 1.85 on Man City or Liverpool if they were playing at Aston Villa. You'd see 1.4. Yeah. So I think they're still being underrated by the bookies. 1.85 looks like a great set of odds. I think everyone's just thinking, this run of form's going to end sooner or later, but I'm going to keep on going until they do. Aston Villa concede goals. I think Leicester are a stronger team and they'll win there. 1.85.
Yeah, Aston Villa do concede goals. I tell you what, they do find the back of the net in most of their games. 1.62 comes in at 1.62, and over 2.5 goals. I would also look to combine those as well. I do like the Leicester win and possibly combining both teams to score. What do you like here?
Well, I've gone through this game with a fine-tooth comb, and I've come out with Villa are too big at 4.5. Remember, Liverpool only scored 2 goals very, very late on to get a victory here. I can see Martin's understanding and his thought process of just keep going until they get beat, and they've been unbelievably outstanding. I just got to go with Villa as momentum at home. I've gone with Villa at 4.5. I was going to do double chance as well, but I'm going to go with Villa at 4.5.
So could Aston Villa destroy Leicester's good run? Let's see. I just read Dan C has been going with Leicester to win, Vardy to score, and under 4.5 goals in a bet builder. He said normally for around 3.5.
Brilliant, and it would have paid off nearly every single week, apart from when they played Southampton and won 9-0.
Yeah, right. Again, Newcastle now versus Southampton. Newcastle 2.7, Southampton 3.1. Saints seem to be picking up the pace now. Obviously, 17th in a row, out of relegation thanks to 2 back-to-back wins. But Newcastle is a tough place to visit, and I know you've been making money on Newcastle. So, what are you doing this time?
Both teams to score at 1.83. I think it's an absolute moral. And remember, Southampton back-to-back wins, and they also drew 2-2 at Arsenal, and it took a 96th minute Lacazette equaliser. Otherwise, it would have been 3 out of 3. I mean, both teams score, and then obviously I hope that Southampton maybe get a winner and it's 2-1 or it's 2-2. But I think both teams to score at 1.83. I'm just locking it in.
Mavano says, "Brave man, Flash. You are a brave man." That's one way to call it, I suppose.
Not stupid.
Brave.
You want to call me stupid?
No, did I say that?
I heard your mind.
I said that there was one
your
way.
Your mind in the same
You
stupid.
always think so, but courageous.
Yes.
There you go. That was the word.
Machiavellian.
That was the word I was thinking
Very
of.
Machiavellian.
Okay.
I've used that before.
And you know as well, moral. So Martin's words of galvanise, like that's definitely like his word, and yours is moral.
Yeah, it's a moral.
Yeah, and then Alex is scoring goals for fun.
Oh, no, weapons.
Weapons. Yeah, those ones, it's that one as well. I just think of those words now. If I hear those words, I think of you guys. So Martin, will Southampton be galvanised by their 2 wins in a row? Or is Newcastle too much for them and we should go for the moral bet of both teams to score?
I think, Newcastle are too Machiavellian for my liking. They're always plotting, always a very cunning team. I've got no business betting on Newcastle at the moment. At the start of the season, I was very confident that they would get relegated. I thought they had a poor squad, poor investment, not a great coach in Steve Bruce, but happy to say he's totally proved me wrong. They're doing really well, sort of up to mid-table, looking like a strong team. I think anything could happen in this game, really. They went to Bramall Lane and kept a clean sheet against Sheffield United, who had been on a great run of form, ended that. Like Flash says, Southampton are improving, so this just has to be a pass from me, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you go with some of the viewers here, James Lyons, draw, both in good form. King Jorge, I see, draw. Barsaman, draw. Shamil, draw.
1-1. 2-2.
That's what they're saying.
It won't be nil-nil.
Looks like a 1-1. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a 0-0 as well. There we go, the draw. Okay, 3 matches left. New Norwich, Sheffield United. Norwich 3.3, Sheffield United 2.41. Sheffield United, they showed promise sort of early on, or most of the season up until now. They then went on a draw spree. They lost hosting Newcastle. Now they visit Norwich. They really should win this one. I don't know if you want to cover yourself with like a Sheffield double chance at Norwich, a team who are destined to be relegated. Martin, what are you going for here?
Has to be another pass from me, I'm afraid. This I would have been on the Sheffield United, at least Sheffield United draw no bet, had it not been for that Newcastle game. I know they were unlucky in that because they had a goal against them which was very VAR influenced. Then they had to go forward and try to force the issue, and they conceded a second. But I still feel a bit nervous now. This is the sort of game that that Norwich might look at, think they can get a result here. It's imperative that they start picking up points and climbing up the table. They're the home team. Yeah, for me, anything could happen in this game, so leave it well alone.
Okay, another pass. What about yourself?
Banker.
Banker.
Absolute banker, this. Alex Classic. Both teams all fancy they can go and win the game. They'll show each other very, very little respect. Norwich were bullied last week against Southampton, I was told. And if I know Chris Wilder, which I obviously do, then he will tell his side to go and get stuck in. I think Norwich will be ready for them. I think both teams will score, and I think one of them will get a winner. I think that Alex Classic of over 2.5 goals on both teams to score. That 2.15.
There you go. I'm just bringing up because I've got double chance here, and I feel it was draw no bets for those odds. So I am just checking. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So 1.75, 1.74. Sheffield United double chance, draw no bets. Sheffield United, that's one I like. Okay, Brighton versus Wolves now. Brighton 2.75, draw 3.3, and Wolves 2.9. Wolves obviously having a good season. They had a little struggle when they had their Europa League commitments. They seem to be finding form and to be able to play both. And I have to say, they are the ones that killed your
parlay.
Yes, they did. So Brighton, they do find the back of the net, does Brighton? So what do you like here?
I like Wolves. I like Wolves to teach them a lesson of keep ball. I like Wolves to win this game, keep it tight, and just be ruthless. And I think 2.9. I mean, you think to yourself, and you've got to look for the value. You've got to try and compare. Sheffield United go to Norwich at 2.41. Wolves go to Brighton, and you're getting 2.9. There's a gulf between them two outfits. I don't think there's a big difference between Norwich and Brighton on their day. So I'm just going to go straight win Wolves.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought goals, both teams to score. I think Brighton can be feeling pretty confident after that.
But I fancy that both
win.
teams to score an over. It's not going to be better than 2.9.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying that 2.9 for Wolves to win. I mean, I'd rather that than both teams to score. I don't trust Brighton.
Okay. Martin, what do you like in this match?
I like both teams to score at 1.95. I think it looks like a great set of odds. Wolves are kind of the draw kings of the division, aren't they? They've drawn 8 out of 15 games so far this season, which is why I'm a bit sceptical backing them to win, particularly when they're going to the Amex, which is a bit of a fortress for Brighton. I know they lost to Leicester here last time out, but they won their previous 2 home games, and they are pretty strong at home. I think they'll have their tails up from that win against Arsenal. I could see this being 1-1 or 2-1 to either side. So, both teams to score. It's great for me at 1.95.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm with you on that. That Wolves win definitely could be a little trap, but both teams to score I like very much. 1.9. All right, final match here of the cards of the weekend. West Ham 3.5, Arsenal 2.05. So the rule, if you're to play Arsenal Winterman moving forward, you have to get a yes from both myself and Martin.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going anywhere near it.
To see if we agree. If Martin agrees on that you can play Arsenal Winter nil, you may play it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you must play something else, like an Arsenal under 3.5 or another way to play it.
Well, the best and worst thing I'm not. And the best and worst thing I can actually say about Arsenal's defence at the moment is that Kolasinac looks like the best defender going forward and even in defence. And I know you're putting that face, and that's what I'm saying by the best and the worst, because you wouldn't want David Luiz I wouldn't have Socrates or whatever you want to call him. And as for Bellerin's running in a sandpit with deep sea divers boots on. He can't pass the ball. He's getting caught out of position. He's getting caught too tight. So for me, I'm going to go West Ham to win the game at 3.5. I'm going against Arsenal. I just think Arsenal are shot to pieces.
King Jorge, West Ham draw no bet. Shamil, West Ham all the way. Martin, what do you think there about Flash's analysis?
Yeah, fair enough. Arsenal was shocking at the back. Kolasinac is a terrible defender, so it says something if he's the one that's performing best.
Yeah.
I don't see why Tierney's not playing at left back. Bellerin is just the best of a bad bunch. It's only Ainsley Maitland-Niles or Callum Chambers who might take that place. They're both poor. I don't see why they don't give Rob Holding a chance in defence, but yeah, Socrates, David Luiz, both dreadful defenders. Signing David Luiz was a terrible idea. They're definitely going to concede in this game. You know they're going to concede. But I think Arsenal will score. It might be 2-1, 3-1 to West Ham. Who knows? You can't bet on Arsenal to win the game right now because they haven't won in 9-10 games, and I think they could be in for a bit of a relegation battle this season if they don't get a new manager in soon. Might be time to go for Tony Pulis or Sam Allardyce or something to get them out of the danger. That's how bad things have become. But yeah, I mean, I would just go for the old Alex Classic. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals. I think that's a banker. But you have to dig around to find the odds. I think 1.65, 1.7 you can get on that. Which go for that all day long.
Yeah, I agree with you. Agree with you on that one. But certainly a lot of West Ham to win 3. A lot of people liking Ben Benko. West Ham to win at 3.5, but it's interesting. Nobody.
The only thing is, West Ham are terrible as well. West
I
Ham
guess.
are a really, really poor side. They're absolutely shocking in defence themselves. It's just two dreadful sides playing against one another. Arsenal might win. You never know. It'd be very bizarre, but
it's Monday night and it's on the telly. It's Monday night on the telly.
You're trying to give yourself your own accent, but making it, that's what I'm about. It's
no, yours.
Monday night on the telly. And
on telly. No, but what I'm saying is it'll be a great atmosphere. Obviously, it's a London derby. Monday night in the... is it called the London Stadium still? Have they found a sponsor yet?
It's still called the London Stadium, yeah. I don't know if there's an issue with getting it sponsored because of the Olympics thing. They got the stadium for free, basically, and it's not quite their stadium. I think they can still use it for athletics and stuff, so they might not be able to do that. But yeah, the London Stadium, in Stratford.
Yeah, it is. Lovely part of London.
Shamil says, Arsenal conceding for fun.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is with West Ham, if they get their noses in front, they are strong. And I just see Arsenal they just put up no resistance at all. So for me, I'm going to go with West Ham at 3.5. Wouldn't put anyone off the draw at 4 neither. Yeah,
some people saying the draw here as well. Ulrich saying draw at 4 is pretty high. I like Bosman's bet here. Half a unit, both teams to score in both halves at 8.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I like that one. It's certainly got the value. All right. Okay, so there we go. 10 matches there. Playing on Sunday and Monday. Flash, start us off. Run through just the bets, obviously, that you've made.
Yeah, well, I've made 9 out of 10, haven't I?
And the banker. I know, but sometimes you'll tell me the games that you're not playing.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. And then the banker.
So in other words, just get on with it.
Well, yeah. Well,
okay. Everton, Chelsea. I'm going Alex Classic at 2. Spurs and Burnley. I'm going Spurs to win and over 2.5 goals at 2. Watford, Crystal Palace. I'm going draw at 3.4. Man City, Man United. I'm going Man City to win and over 3.5 goals at 2.7. I'm going Aston Villa to beat Leicester at 4.5. Newcastle, Southampton. Both teams to score at 1.83. Norwich and Sheffield United, I'm going for the Alex Classic at 2.15. Brighton and Wolves, I'm going for Wolves at 2.9. And I'm going West Ham to beat Arsenal at 3.5. My banker is Norwich and Sheffield United, the Alex Classic at 2.15. And my parlay is Newcastle and Southampton, both teams to score at 1.83. And the Alex Classic in the Everton-Chelsea game at 2.
There you go. Money Martin, what do you got?
So I'm going to go for Chelsea to beat Everton at 2.05. Give Liverpool a -1 Asian handicap against Bournemouth at 1.63. Tottenham and over 1.5 goals at 1.63 in their game at home to Chelsea. Man City to win the Manchester derby and both teams to score in that game at odds of 2.75. Still riding that Leicester train. Leicester to win away at Villa Park, 1.85. Both teams to score at the Amex when Brighton host Wolves at 1.95. And both teams to score an over 2.5 goals. West Ham versus Arsenal. I think that's 1.68. Banker has to be Tottenham and over 1.5 goals. I think they get the job done against Burnley. But I also think Liverpool will easily take care of Bournemouth. So I put those two together as a double. I also do have a 4-team ACCA, which I can just read out quickly. Liverpool to beat Bournemouth. Spurs in the over 1.5 goals against Burnley. Man City just to beat Man United. And Leicester draw no bet against Aston Villa. That pays 4.36.
Nice.
There you go. Very nice indeed, yeah. Everton, Chelsea, expect goals on the cards there. Alex Classic, Liverpool -1, 1.63. I'm on the fence now about the Crystal Palace draw no bet. I want to see how Watford perform this weekend, but I was liking Crystal Palace draw no bet. Leicester to win, of course, also liking both teams to score in Aston Villa versus Leicester. And Sheffield draw no bet at 1.74, and both teams to score 1.9. Brighton Wolves, and Alex Classic West Ham versus Arsenal. My banker is Liverpool -1 at 1.63, and I have a 3-team parlay: Liverpool, Spurs, and Man City. There we go, guys. Thank you very much. One quick thing, actually, you were mentioning this. Joe Sawyer says Arsenal relegation at 150.
No, what a waste of money. What a waste.
Well, I know, I was going to say, but you've still got contenders like Watford, Norwich,
yeah, there's loads of them.
There's still a lot that's...
yeah. Arsenal could go on a 15-game winning streak once they get everything sorted out. And I actually was going to say this earlier. Obviously, my job was obviously scouting and setting up to how to beat teams. And I think that Arsenal should go with 3 centre-halves and 2 hard-working wing-backs. And then that would then free up the boys to break from midfield. But at the moment, they've got midfielders who want to take too many touches. They've got defenders they can't rely on. They're giving the ball away too much. But I would go 3-4-3 or 3-5-2.
Yeah, well, Martin says definitely. Are you going to take it? Are you going to really?
We were in the form table. We were 18th before that defeat to Brighton. So I imagine now, over the last 7 games, we must be 19th in the form table. And that's pretty much half the season. We're just in a tailspin right now, low on confidence, and I can't see anyone sorting this defence out. I mean, for like a couple of quid, you may as well. You can make 300 quid if they do. I don't realistically think they will go down, but it's looking pretty bad right now. I mean, they're going to have to get a proper manager to come in and sort this team out, because Lundberg's not the man for the job, obviously. He's taken 1 point from 2 games against poor teams. So there's going to be a crucial couple of weeks for Arsenal. They need to make a big appointment, and I still think even if they do, we'll concede plenty of goals. And I think we're just going to keep sliding down the table. It's getting more and more competitive in the position they're at. So I'm a little bit... I'll sleep easier when we're on 40 points.
Yeah, I bet. All right, guys, thank you very much, Martin, Flash, and to everybody joining us in the chat. We'll be back again normal time next week, which is Thursday at 2 p.m. Which is when? Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes,
right?
it is.
There we go. All right, then. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck, Mark.
Cheers, mate.